What do you think about being Inuvialuit? Your culture, your language, and your way of life. How do you feel?
I was born here in Aklavik, but most of my life I've lived out on the land. At one time in the 40s, even before then, that whole Delta was full of people. Aklavik was very small. I didn't know English. I'm pretty sure she didn't know English.
No.
Our first was Inuvialuit, and we had to learn how to speak our language in English. And it was hard, but we had to learn because I was going to go to residential school. That's where, because long ago, when you didn't go to residential school, if they told you you have to go to school, or else your parents going to go to, one of them going to go in jail. When he first brought me to school, I went behind him and went back home. Then my dad told me, Renie, if you don't go to school now, they're going to put me in jail. So I had to, like it or not, I had to go to residential school. And I was there for 8 years. But the first part of when you go to residential school, the first few nights a week maybe was the hardest part. At night, you could hear crying. You know, we had to learn to get our strength back through trying to encourage them on, because a lot of them, they were either from Eastern Arctic. They didn't have no parents here, and we're lucky we had our parents living in the Delta.
Tell you the truth, I never been in school before. They were trying to put me to school when two of my brothers went to school. What I did, hitched up my dogs. I took off in a bush and I stayed out there. And maybe about a week or maybe less than a week, I come back and my dad asked me, you going to school? I said, no. So I went down to my dad and never come back after that. I raised up with my dad, my aunties, two of my aunties and my uncles. And I raced up at Herschel to the mainland, back and forth, first to Alaska. And when I started doing things like, you know, helping my dad again, that's how we grew up, helping elders.
Who do you think about when you're on the land? And why are you going to that certain camp while you are there?
My best time of the year was when I used to go with my grandmother, away from everybody, just her and I, and in a creek like this, and she'll have a cabin up here, and she'll have a stage like this for good fish, bad fish, you know, for her dogs, because long ago you had to take good care of your dogs. You had to do things for your dogs, and for people also.
Just like me, I never really raised up with my parents. I raised up pretty well with my dad. I used to just enjoy staying with my dad.
What do you think about when you're on the land and you're telling stories, and what do you think about the land?
I think the land really, really, really brought us where we are today.
Yeah.
The land gave us food. The land gave us cabin to live in. The land gave us heat. The land gave us everything.
Everything.
Food,
everything.
Everything from the land. Compared to long ago, you lived a healthy life out there. We weren't always inside the house. We're out there.
Outside, yeah.
Like when there's Hollywood time, it wasn't work, it was fun time.
Why do you think it's important that we younger generation come to you elders for advice? I'm very thankful when like these parks or other people that want me to talk in front of the children. I'll gladly do it because I went through a lot in my life. It wasn't bed of roses. I went through a lot in my life. When something is bothering you, don't take it out on anger on anybody. It's not their problem, it's our problem. We have to work with it. And work with it in a clean way, where you could better yourself.
The more you stay mad, the more your body is hurting.
And
You're hurting yourself.
Inside yourself.
When you get old, you can't do anything anyway.
What are ways you would teach the younger generation about being on the land so they can hold and share the knowledge and to preserve it for the coming years?
I'm glad in a way that the school and the community corp or whatnot, I think more out on the land would be good for you.
Yeah.
It was good for us to be out on the land.
Mm-hmm.
Being here at the school, sure you learn a lot,
Yeah.
but you have to be out on the land
Yeah.
to learn more about how we lived, how people survived back then. This is where you're going to learn more to be proud of who you are today. Because of love of the land, both Nellie and I, we still go out there because the land is where you get all your whatever you're carrying out, whatever you're carrying out in here. You're out there on the land. You're like it's refreshing you all, refreshing your mind. You feel a lot like, oh, I'm 110% now better than when I first came from from Aklavik. So it's good to go out on the land and just be out there.
Yeah.
If you have to cry out there by yourself, if you have to talk really loud by yourself, nobody's going to hear you. It's good that you're starting now. It'll help you go healthier and wiser and for where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could do it. You could do it. Don't be scared to ask.
Yeah.
That's the only way you could learn.
But finish school first, okay?
Yeah.